Okay, let's see if this will work today. Hello to everybody joining me. Okay, it looks like we have a go for the day. Yay! Okay.
Kelly, it took me coming over here.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. How is everybody today? I hope you are doing really well. I have some awesome, fun things to chat with you about today on this Friday bead therapy. So, I guess we'll just kind of give everybody a minute and then we'll jump on in. Hello from, let's see, Missouri, Shenandoah Valley, Virginia, Texas, Scotland. Hello from the UK, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, New Hampshire, Florida, Pennsylvania, Moore, Oklahoma. Hello. Thank you for everybody jumping in. So, first and foremost, let me grab all of my notes here. I know people are going to be talking about my earrings. They're going to want to see my earrings. So, my earrings are from the peacockshop.com. This lady has some amazing earring designs. You can see here is her email or her website. These earrings are called the Peacock Feather Earrings. She has the pattern instant download for sale, as well as the kits for these. She has several different ones from that. And somebody says, love your haircut. Thank you. It's amazing what a pair of clippers can do to my head. So thank you. It was driving me crazy. But earrings, peacock feathers, boom, peacockbeadshop.com. Hope you guys will check Megan out. She's fabulous. Today, I'm going to be showing you a bracelet that I have come up with that looks really well with the color block ring that I have on the free section of my website. So if you go to offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com, you go under step-by-step tutorials, and then you click on free, you will see all of the free content that I have right now. That is going to include the color block ring and a new color block bracelet. Now, I specifically designed this bracelet to have a more geometric look, a more kind of look that a lot of men would like. So if you have a man in your life, to me, this would be an awesome project for them. I could see it done in blacks and gunmetals and all sorts of awesome colors. The pattern is already for free. It's in the free section again of the website. This is what it's going to look like. It's a 9-page pattern. It's going to give you a couple of pages of the graph. So if you follow graphs, you will have a couple of pages of the full graph for the bracelet. And then you have the word chart, step by step, row by row on what you're doing. This is going to take 3 colors of a size 11 Delica. And you are only going to need color A, 263 beads. Color B is 729 beads. And color C is 221 beads. So that's all the beads that you're going to need for this project. Now, I have specifically made this to be about 7 inches. Now, some men, like, and I'm thinking about like my dad, have a lot bigger wrists than 7 inches. So I will, in the course of the video, I will try to go ahead and I will show you what rows to repeat to be able to get to larger sizes that you'll want, or how many rows to take off if you need it smaller for somebody else. So that is something that you really want to know. Now, if you have already or you want to purchase materials for this today, which is April the 3rd, 2020, if you place an order on my website over $10 and it ships within the US, you can use the coupon code FREE, F-R-E-E, to get free shipping on any orders April 3rd, 2020, over $10. So there's that. Okay, couple more things before I jump in today. I had some more people send in helper pin patterns. Again, those are on my website. So if you have already purchased the patterns, you don't have to keep purchasing the patterns. All you have to do is go to my website, offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. You click to log into your account, and when you log in, it's automatically going to take you to the orders page. So all you have to do is click on the order for the helper pins, and then it will bring up every file for those helper pins. So that way you can see all the new files. The one I added today that somebody sent to me was an American flag. It was a really, really pretty one. So just kind of FYI on that. Now, we're going to go ahead and get started. If somebody asks about my earrings that I have on, for those of you who were in at the beginning, please, if you will, post that so I don't have to keep saying it, don't have to keep listening to it. Materials needed. So I've told you the 3 colors of Delica beads. You can use a regular size 8 or a size 11 seed bead. You can also use a size 8 seed bead if you want it wider and you want it longer. Okay, so a size 8 seed bead, whether it's a Delica or a regular size 8 will work as well. I'm going to use a size 10 beading needle. You can use a 10 or a 12, completely up to you. You are also going to need about 4 to 6 yards of thread. For a standard like 7 inches, you're probably going to need closer to that, probably 6 yards. I'm also going to be showing you today how to add a 16.5 millimeter slide bar clasp. So I will show you this. I get a lot of questions of, can you show us how to add a clasp and it look really, really well? I'm not a fan of putting a lobster claw on a bracelet that I'm going to spend hours on, like a lobster claw or a toggle. So I like to use these slide bar clasps. So I thought it would be a really nice thing to show you guys how to use today, because they are really, really nice to use. So let's go ahead. I'm going to gotta flip me back to the screen here. Hello, everybody who is jumping in. I really appreciate it. Okay, so, and my mama is watching with my little boy. So, hey, Grayson. All right, so I'm going to move my camera here. If you get motion sickness whatsoever, go ahead and turn your head for just 1 minute while I try to get the camera flipped around. Well, come on. There we go. Okay. No dumpster divers today, guys. Sorry. For those of you who have no clue, I think it was one day, maybe 2 weeks ago, there was a dumpster diver out here, and we all were just cracking up. So, okay. So here we go. Let me get kind of situated. Okay. So, Odd Count Peyote. I know most of us who have been keeping up know how to do this, but I want to do a quick refresh so that way you guys will know. This is what the completed bracelet is going to look like. So for my bracelet today, the color A is, I'm using DB 1051. That's going to be this kind of brown color here. Color B is DB 031. That is this metallic gold color that you see. So that really shiny gold. And color C is DB 883. That is the cream color that I am using in this one. So that is where your colors are going to be at. Okay, Denise says, real quick, for the helper pins, can you use an 8 and 6 millimeter bead? Oh, I would not use a 8 millimeter or a 6 millimeter bead. I think you may be asking a size 8 seed bead and a size 6 seed bead. And if that's the case, then yes, they're just going to be way bigger. So for now, I'm going to set this one to the side. We will come back to it, I promise. The colors that I'm going to use today in the video are DB 1691 here, DB 353, and DB 377. So that's going to be my A, B, and my C today. So that way you guys can kind of see there everything that you need and all that good jazz. I'm going to leave that on there for just a minute for you. Okay. So if you go to the website and you download that free pattern, you will see it. This is done Odd Count Peyote, and the bracelet is about a 1/2 inch wide. And it's a really, really nice size bracelet, even for a man. Somebody's asking about my bead board. This bead board is from the Bead Wrangler, Ree Stanley. You can find her on Etsy. Okay, so first thing is first. You've got multiple pages here of your bead chart. Then you have your actual word chart, okay? So we're going to go over the word chart today. And let me just get my page one. Now, I'm going to do a couple of rows here for you to show you how to start your odd count peyote. So row 1 and 2 is 7A beads, okay? So I have, with my needle, I have about 2 yards of thread because that's what I like to work with. So I'm going to pick up 7 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. When you say regular seed beads, what brand do you mean? You can use any brand, honestly. If you use, like a check seed bead, it's not going to give you as nice of a finished bracelet, but you can use like Toho and Miyuki and Preciosa. There's all sorts that you can use, honestly, whatever you have. We don't discriminate around here on our seed beads. So I've got my 7 beads, and I'm going to leave a tail that is about the width of my mat. So let me grab what thread? 1G. Yes, you can use any thread that you have for this. I'm just using 1G because I personally like 1G. So I've got a 12-inch tail here. Now, I'm just going to hold these beads into place for now. Let me get my light down here so if I can get it a little brighter. Okay, so I have my beads here. Now, row 3 right here says I'm going to put on 4 A's. So if you need to, go ahead and lay out 4 A's. And when we work back this direction, we're going to pick up 1 bead at a time. I pick up 1, I skip 1, and I go through 1. Okay, just like this. Okay, now I'm just going to hold that bead in place as I pull the thread. And again, you can use a size 10 or a size 12 beading needle. For those of you who specifically want to know what I'm using today, I'm using a tulip needle. And again, remember, you can tell a tulip by that gold top. Okay, so I'm going to pick up another size 11 seed bead. I'm coming out of this bead. I'm going to skip a bead, and I'm going to go through a bead. Okay, again, I'm going to hold that bead in place, and I'm going to pull. Well, hello from beautiful North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I am hoping, Born, that all of this is semi-over by June so I can come down to the coast and see you guys. Okay, pick up another one. I'm going to skip a bead and then go through a bead. Hello from Georgia. Okay, so you'll notice here, I still have 1 more bead that I need to add right here. And I've got a bead just kind of hanging out there. There's nothing that I can skip and go through. So this is where if you, you can do a funky turnaround, what I call the funky turnaround. I just do it a different way, okay? I'm going to keep it kind of tight over my hand. And you can see here when I hold it, I'm using my pinky and my ring finger to kind of hold the tension on that. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go under that thread. Now, when I go under that thread, I'm going to keep the thread tight. So that way, when I pull it, the bead does not go under that thread. Okay. Then I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come through the bead that I just added. Everybody's jumping in North Miami Beach, Myrtle Beach. Hello, Maria from Pakistan. Thank you so much for jumping on with us today. Yes, if you want to, you can definitely add a stop bead. Me personally, I don't need the stop bead, but if you feel like you need a stop bead, absolutely throw that stop bead on there. So this is our row so far. Now, the next row in my chart says I'm going to pick up 3A. So, and I'm so sorry. I don't even think I said this a minute ago. The number in our parentheses is how many of that bead we will pick up. The letter next to it is the letter that we will pick up. So A, so for this one, we would pick up 3 A's. But no, we're not going to pick up 3A at one time. This is just the sequence that we're going to pick up our beads. So I'll try to get through some of this so you can see it. So if you have to, which now you should just be able to kind of see your pattern. It's 3 A's, so I'm going to pick up an A. And this time we're working regular peyote stitch, which is pick up a bead and skip a bead, go through a bead, or just go through the next bead that's sticking up on your row right here, okay? So I'm just going through that next bead on my row. I'm going to pull this through. I'm so glad you all are joining me on this. I don't know about where you're at, but it's a beautiful Friday here in Forest City today. Feeling very blessed today that we have this beautiful weather. Okay, so boom, that's our next row. Okay. Now, the next row says 4 A's. So you can go ahead and lay out your beads if you need to. It's a small enough or a thin enough part though. Hopefully you don't need to. Okay, I am coming out of this bead. I pick up one bead and I'm going to work back in this direction and I'm just going to go through the next beads sticking up on the row. Oh, hello, everybody. Hold on. Oh, okay. I'm back. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening here. Something's going on with my connection today. All right. Give me just a second. Let's see if the connection will get a little bit better. Oh, I'm so hoping so. Let me see. All right. Can you guys see this? Okay. All right, guys. I'm hoping, so hoping this connection gets a little bit better. If not, I may have to go off and start the live again. Okay. So my thread is coming out here. So now I'm just going to pick up one bead and go through the next bead sticking up. Okay, some people are saying they have a good connection. Some people are saying that, you know, it's blurry. Mine is blurry here. I'm very sorry. Don't know what is going on right now. But hopefully we'll get back to having a good connection here in just a minute. Okay. So, thread is coming out right here. Tail is right here. I'm going to go under that little tail thread here. I'm going to keep it tight, and I'm going to pull that thread. Then I'm going to take my needle, and I'm going to come back through that same bead again that I just added. Okay, if everybody will bear with me for a minute, I'm going to refresh my screen as well and see if it helps. Because my screen on my big computer is doing the same thing. It's kind of blurry. Okay, I'm back. Yay. Okay. All right. So yes, if you are getting a screen that is blurry, try to refresh the connection and we should be good to go. Okay, I've got 3A, and then our next one is where we start the pattern. So I'm just going to pick up a bead and go through the next bead sticking up. Pick up a bead, go through the next one sticking up. And pick up a bead and go through the next one sticking up. Okay, so this is what we should have so far. All right, so now we are to a point where we are going to start adding our rows with patterns. So let me mark this here so that way I'll know kind of where I'm at. All right, so 3A and 1B. So what that means, I'm not going to pick up 3 beads at one time. I've got 3 A's that I'll pick up, and then I will pick up 1 B. So to do the row, I pick up an A and go through. Okay, a lot of people are chiming in saying they've never seen Odd Count Peyote done like this before. I learned this from a project that I did from threadabead.com. If you've never checked out threadabead.com, it will change your life. I love me some threadabead.com. Okay, so the last one for my row is that bead. Now remember, I have my last bead for the row. I go under that little tail thread here, hold it in place so that the bead will not go under the thread, and then I take my needle and I come back through the bead I just added. Somebody just asked, is this a Delica bead? Yes, it is a Delica bead. Okay, so you can see my little pattern has started. And real quick, I'll show you. This is the project that I learned this odd count turn on. This is a little 3-dimensional birdhouse that I did, and I got the pattern from threadabead.com. But the top of the birdhouse here uses that odd count turn, and I had never seen it before, and I've done that turn ever since. So check out threadabead.com, and even look at my little tiny, I just love my little tiny birds. And also, they actually just sent out a free pattern that you can get that makes a little 3-dimensional nurse now, and I think it's fabulous. Okay, so row 7 is complete. Now row 8 is 1B and 2 A's. So for those of you who are kind of following along, you'll notice that with odd count, one row of this is going to have 3 beads that I'm going to add, and one row is going to have 4 beads. Okay, thread is, okay. So I have my A, or my B, I'm sorry, and then 2 A's. And you're starting, you can see now I got 2 little beads here. They're going to be going at a diagonal. Yvette says, we had snow here in Colorado. Oh, wow. That's, oh, I don't know if I could do that. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go just a couple more rows just so you guys can see here. So my next row is 2A, 1B, and 1A. And again, I'm not going to add 2 A's at one time. So I'm going to just lay out, I've got 2 A's, 1 B, and 1 A. Now, if you lay them out, here's the thing. Make sure that you pay attention to the way that you're laying them out. Okay? So I'm just going to work back. For those of you, if you go to threadabead.com, let's see, I see Mary McDonald said she made the nativity. That's awesome. So awesome. My friend Barb is actually making the little village, and she made the little train, a little 3-dimensional train this week, and posted it. It was so cute. Okay, so this is the row here. You can see I have my 1 bead. I'm going to go under that little tail thread. Pull this on through, and then I'm going to come back through the bead that I just added so that it will complete that row. So is everybody with me on this this turnaround? Is everybody kind of following me on it? If not, it's okay. Just say yay or nay, and we're going to go through. But this is what we should have so far. A way that you can count your rows is you can count the beads on the outside. It's these outside 2 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I just finished row 9. Let's see. Could you make, wait a minute, somebody's comment. Let me give it a minute to pop around here. Okay, it seems like everybody's kind of getting it. Could you make this into a wrap bracelet? Absolutely, you sure could. So let's go through the pattern really quick so that I can kind of look and tell you where your repeats are. Okay, somebody says, what are the R and the L for at the beginning of the row? So the R means basically I'm going to be adding beads right to left, and the L is left to right. Or I'm going to be working going towards the right, and I'm going to be working to the left. That is the easiest way to kind of say that. I don't really worry about the R's and the L's as much as, you know, what your words are here is mainly what you need to be kind of dealing with and looking at. Okay, so basically, your repeats, let me see where we would start repeats here. So that way, if we want to make it bigger, we can make it bigger and the whole 9 yards. So I'm going over here to the graph. And I want to figure out, let's see. So it's going to be, okay, everybody just bear with me for 1 second so that I can kind of figure this out here where your repeats are going to be at. Okay, so this was row 1 and 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, row 3 here are these 4 beads here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and if you go by a word chart, this is kind of how, or the graph, this is how I do this as well. Now, the next row, row 4 was 3A, so that's 1, 2, 3 here. Okay, row 4 or row 5 was 4A, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I may actually have to figure this out after the video and then show you guys or post it actually on the pattern, how many rows you would need for your repeat. Yeah, I'll just do that because I'll actually have to figure out which are sections here. So I'll do that. I will figure this out and I will actually put it on the pattern for you so that way you will have it. Okay. Let's see. What are some questions real quick? Can you flip the project and work from, okay, after the turnaround, can you flip the project and work from the bottom up? After the turnaround? Yes, I don't normally flip my pieces. I normally just keep them in my hand just like this and work up and work down so that my tail is always in my hand here. So that way the piece is stable and I don't have to worry about getting it flipped. Now, I want to show you really quickly because I think everybody's kind of got the gist of that now, is that when I come to the end of my bracelet, and if you leave that 12-inch tail, you should have enough thread to do the whole length of the bracelet. And you can see here, I just have this little tiny piece left on the end. And I'm ready to add a clasp. Now, if you can't figure out or you don't get the pattern where it has the repeats on it, you can always take and just add more brown on both sides or more of your color A's on both sides of the piece to make it the length you need, okay? Don't stress out about it too bad. So just be aware of that. Let's see. Somebody says, notice you are not flipping your work. If you do flip, would the word chart be the same sequence? Yes, but you just have to be very, very, very careful. Very, 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 very careful. Okay. So I wanted to show you here you can see that I am working on, I finished well, I've already finished this end off, so that way you wouldn't have to sit through that. But this is the end that I have just finished. I want to mainly only work with these 3 beads right here. So I'm going to stitch through my beads to come out of this 1 bead right here. Okay, and it's kind of one of those things, it doesn't matter how you get there as long as you don't see the thread. Now, I will tell you this, this specific sample used 10-pound fire line, or I think this one was actually the Wildfire. So for now, I've just kind of got to leave my little tail here to the side. This little tail is no good for me anymore. So I'm going to work the row. And basically what we're wanting to do, we are doing like a decrease type thing. And we're going to make a decrease strip long enough that we can fold it around the bar on this little slide clasp. Okay, this is a 16.5 millimeter. It is a really great size for this 7-row piece. So I have my beads on here. Now I'm just going to work my row. So I'm going to work back the other direction. So 1, 2. Now here's the thing, and I get back here, I don't have my little tail thread there to help me. So I have to do a funky turnaround, what I call the funky turnaround. It's a figure 8 basically. So I'm going to go on through my next bead here. Would this be the same if you're left-handed? Yes, absolutely. You're just, instead of where, you know, yeah, it's the same, exactly the same. Okay, so I've picked up 1 bead. Now I'm going to try to get this in close here so you can see it. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come through and get it through here so you can see it. You want to be careful, especially if you're using matte finish beads. Matte finish beads tend to bust easily. Okay, so you can see here, I'm basically coming through the second, this row had 2 beads on it. I'm coming through that second bead and then the bead right below it, kind of at that diagonal. And what's going to happen when I pull that is now it pops that bead into place. But I need to be coming out of this bead right here. So I am going to come through these 3 beads here at a diagonal. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3, just like this. Okay. For anybody who is having to go or to jump off, it's completely fine. Once I finish this video, it will be uploaded to YouTube and it will stay here. So, okay, and then I'm going to come back through this bead again. And now I'm ready to continue my row. So this is why I personally like to do the work with the tail thread, or that turnaround with the tail thread, because I don't have to worry about doing that little funky turnaround. I don't mind it, but I find a lot of people get confused by the turnaround, and then it intimidates them to not even do the turnaround or to not even try Odd Count Peyote. Okay, whoop, picked up my bead. Okay, so you can see here, I'm coming out of this bead here. So I've got to continue on through the last bead of my row, which is this one. Okay, Jason. Okay, Jason, thank you, thank you, thank you. He says, I could be totally wrong, but I think row 45 is where you begin the repeat. All right, Jason, thank you, thank you, thank you for looking at that and taking the time to do that. Okay, got 1 bead here. I'm going to come through 2 beads here at the diagonal. And again, be careful when you go through those 2 beads. Okay, so when I pull it through, now my bead is popped into place and it looks like it should, but I've got to be coming out of that bead. So I'm just going to come through 3 beads here at that diagonal. Pull that and then come through the bead I just added. Okay? So just like this. So I'm basically going to continue this until I have enough to go around that little loop. And then we get to zip it. Zipping it, for those of you who watched my beaded peyote tube video, I don't even know what day that was now, but it was one of the bead therapies. I show how to zip a tube together, and this is basically what we're going to be doing there as well. We're going to zip that little tube together. So you can see here, I'm going to go through that last bead for my row. I'm going to pick up 1 bead here and come through the 2 beads at that diagonal. Okay. Hope everybody can see this. Oh, Lord, Jason says I'm the expert. Oh, no, honey. No, 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 no. I just love to bead, and I love to share my knowledge of beading. Okay, then I'm going to go through 3 beads at the diagonal like that. And then I'm going to come through the bead that I just added. Okay, so at this point, I can kind of take my clasp, I can slide it on, and I can fold it over. And you can see that compared to what I did here, you can see that's going to be nowhere near enough rows to go around it, because at this point, if I fold it over, it's going to be into my design, and you don't want that. So you just kind of have to keep going and doing some rows until you get the length that you need. So I'm going to kind of go and get these next couple of rows done so that I can show you how to get everything together. Is this similar with even? Is there a similar pattern with even count peyote? No, I don't have a pattern for this in even count peyote yet, just the odd count. Would love to know, Amy, have you tried the tail method like I've been showing in this video, or have you only done the turnaround that has kind of frustrated you? Or is odd count peyote just frustrating in general? Because I know a lot of people can find odd count peyote just frustrating in general. For those of you who are watching live, will you comment and tell me if you like even count or odd count peyote better? I know that everything's going to kind of be all over the map, but I would love to know for future reference, you know, when I make patterns, what you guys like. Somebody says, okay, so you can see right here, see my thread got caught right there? Oh, where are you, tulip? Oh no, my little tulip all's MIA. So all you gotta do is just grab a hold, pull it, and fix it. All right, so I'm going to do this one more row right here and see if I've got the length that I need. Now, if I was a person who was super particular and had to have everything perfect, I could count. I could count how many rows I have here, but I'll just do this. Okay, and I'm about there. You can see that I am about there to the length. So I'm just going to do one more full set of rows here, and then I'm going to show you how to connect. So yep, as I suspected, everybody's kind of all over the map on if they like even count, odd count, whatever. Okay. And you can see that even though, whoop, that is not what I wanted to do right there. There we go. Okay, you can see that even though I have a certain width, when I decrease, the decrease doesn't look bad, especially when you're using these little slide bar clasps. These slide bar clasps make life so easy, and your pieces look really, really, really nice and finished. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go through my bar of my clasp. I'm going to make sure, or one of the things you need to make sure is that when you do this, make sure that this is the way it needs to be and it's not flipped in any way whatsoever. So I'm going to open it here just so it's easier. Okay, so you can see here. Whoops, let me take these. I just like to do it with these two. Take this back out real quick. Pat Miner asks if the bracelet can be made wider. Okay, for this specific design, you can't make it wider, but I will do a long, or I'll try to do a long or a wider one. How much does the thread show on the turnaround edge? Okay, this is the turnaround edge. This is the regular edge. So it's the exact same thing. Exact same thing. Now, if you do the funky turnaround, you'll see here that there's not as much thread as there is on this side. This is the side where you do that turnaround if you're doing the funky one. And so you see more thread and less thread. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so I've got this pulled through. Make sure my bar clasp is there. And you'll see I have finished it off with 2 beads that I need to do for the row. So when I fold it over, it kind of doesn't matter which row that I tack it to. I'm just going to pick one of my rows that I like here. And I am going to go through a row that only has the 2 beads on it. So this row here looks like a good one to do. I'm going to try and get through it here without, and it's almost like I'm zipping it up. Think of if I only had a row with 3 beads on one end and a row with 2 beads on the other end. Okay, so if I hold it like this, you can see my 3 beads, and then I'm going through the 1 bead there. So that will fill in that space. Okay, then I'll go through the middle bead here of the ending side. Pull that through. And now I'm going to kind of flip it this way so I can see it a little bit better. So if I pull it back, I'm going to go through the 1 bead there from the last row. See if I can get the light right on it a little better. Okay, so see the 1 bead there. And then come through the last bead. So that now that little tube is zipped up. Okay, so I don't have a whole lot of thread left, but what I'm going to try to do now is I'm just going to try to go through that row of beads again. So that way, and again, if you're using matte finish beads, be really, really careful when you do this part because it can bust those beads. Oh, come on. And you can see by this time, especially if you're using, say, a heavier pound fire line like I am here with this 10 pound, it gets really tight. Oh, please don't bust. I'll cry. Okay. Woo, it's coming. It's coming. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to grab a pair of pliers so I can pull that on through. There we go. Hello from London, everybody who's just jumping in. Okay, so, whoops, let me grab that out of there. That's not what I meant to do. So now what I need to do is I need to stitch this thread through some beads to get rid of it. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to stitch this thread through several beads to get rid of it. And then I will have the finished clasp, and you can see how nice the finish on this bracelet is. Okay, it's a really, really, really nice finish to it. So what I will do for you is I will, as soon as I get off from doing the live, I will figure out where we need to do the repeats in case you want to make this larger. The pattern itself will make a 7-inch bracelet without the clasp, okay? Would it be easier to switch to a size 12 needle? On this one that I was doing, I do have a size 12 on there, Sharon. This one, the one that I started was a size 10. I have a size 12 on here. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera, so everybody just kind of bear with me for 1 minute. Look away if you get motion sickness. Okay, somebody says, can you use 6-pound fire line? Absolutely. And if you have questions about fire line and any type of beading thread that you could use, you can go back to yesterday's bead therapy. That would have been April the 2nd, Thursday, April the 2nd, because I talked about needles and thread in that video. And I also have a free giveaway type thing, pattern info sheet on my website, which is offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. Okay, do you have the sliding clasp on your website? Yes, I do. The one I use today is a 16.5 millimeter slide bar clasp. Okay, I think I've got 3 or 4, maybe 3 different sizes on the website in the silver, the gold, the antique gold, and the antique copper. So I have several different sizes of those. For the odd count, again, I did today, it was 16.5 millimeter. And again, for those of you who have just kind of jumped on, just so that you'll know, today, which is April the 3rd, 2020, if you place an order on my website, offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com, and you use the coupon code FREE, F-R-E-E, you'll get free shipping on all orders over $10 shipped within the United States, okay? So just a heads up on that. So guys, I hope you have a fabulous day. Remember that the pattern is free, again, on my website, beadstore.com. Go to step-by-step tutorials and then free, and you will see that. The earrings I have on today are the feather earrings from peacockbeadshop.com. You will be able to see that and be good to go. Okay, which thread is better for bead crochet? Honestly, I use a DMC number 8 cotton thread to bead crochet with, and I have that on my website as well. So guys, on Monday, I will be back. I will be back Monday through Friday next week with these live sessions. If you missed the project, you just jumped on, don't worry. As soon as this video is complete, it will upload to YouTube and it will be there so you can watch it later. Next week on Monday, we are going to start, what are we going to start? Bead embroidery. We're going to do some bead embroidery. We're going to talk Monday about foundations that you can use and how to kind of start out, putting our pattern on there and kind of working through a project. So it's my hope that all of you will join me this coming week into doing a project. Let's work on one all week together. Whatever you want to work on, we'll do it all week together and then hopefully have a nice fun reveal at the end of the week. And for those of you who are saying you love my haircut, thank you, thank you, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Guys, I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous weekend. Get out, try to get outside if you are able to, stay in our 6 feet away from each other and get you some fresh air. I love you all, and I hope you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you later. Bye.